mentioning again fundraising and billionaires, because Kim mentioned this Palm Springs event. I think it's worth noting something quite extraordinary.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Since so much is made of and should be made of donations to political parties and political candidates in a nation that has a political system awash in money, the U.S., huge issues that our political system, I think, is plagued with. But this is the political system we have. So a lot is made of how much money is raised and where that money comes from. So the day after the mob stormed the Capitol on January 6, 2021, Nelson Peltz, who is a GOP mega donor, billionaire, called the insurrection a disgrace, expressed remorse for voting for Donald Trump. "I'm sorry I did that," he said, meaning that he voted for Trump. There were a lot of other billionaires who stepped forward and said, "I'll never again be part of this man and those who had anything to do with endorsing the attempted insurrection on January 6th. Many billionaires stepped forward. The reality is that times have changed. And now, in the fullness of time, as the phrase goes, and with Trump having essentially established himself as the candidate for the GOP, the very man that I quoted, or who I quoted, Nelson Peltz, the billionaire, is now out in front on Donald Trump, along with other billionaires. It was earlier this month that Peltz had breakfast with Trump, along with Steve Wynn, the hotelier, Elon Musk, the Marvel chairman, former Marvel chairman, Isaac Perlmutter. Peltz held that breakfast at his Palm Beach oceanfront mansion. He's an activist investor. He's in a battle over Disney right now, Peltz is. And now he says he will probably vote for Donald Trump and the GOP candidate as embodied by Trump. So again, this is a key point, as the Nikki Haley's of the world, of the DeSantis's of the world, as they melt away and you're left with Trump, these GOP mega donors who had sworn they would never support Donald Trump after the attempted insurrection on January 6th, they're all now back on board. Can you think of why? Because they want the one thing that they know Trump will deliver. And it has nothing to do with women's reproductive rights, and it has nothing to do with voting rights, and it has nothing to do with gay education in school or any of the other wedge issues. It has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. It has to do with tax cuts. They do not want further taxes on billionaires, and that is something that Biden is pledged to do. Now, I don't know that Biden will actually get that legislation through, but clearly billionaires feel that is the impending reality in a Biden administration. They know that whether or not he'll actually get the legislation passed, he's going to try to get it passed. And so in that spirit, they support Trump. They do not, and actually they do fear Biden's tax agenda. So these huge fortunes that have grown even bigger during COVID, now even post-COVID, the market's on a run. These billionaires have done well. And Biden has promised to raise many taxes on these billionaires. So they, as a class, the billionaire class, feels threatened by Joe Biden. So now they are back in behind Trump. Some of them are not enthusiastic supporters of Donald Trump, but they're there with their money. Nonetheless, in fact, Kim, you had those numbers. I mean, it's pretty amazing the way big money flocks to Trump to try to prevent those tax cuts that they fear from going through.
It's just sad that, and maybe it's such a naive view for me to take, and I realize it's not the way the world works, but it's just so sad to me that money is more important than the tenets and principles of America.
Oh, well, I mean, this is something you can, I think, argue about. You can also have reasonable disagreements about. In fact, you could have a reasonable disagreement about the tenets of America are. So I understand what you're saying, that there is something that was so loathsome in that January 6th attempted insurrection, the apparent calls for violence, the attempt to overthrow a legitimate vote through all the means that we've discussed here ad nauseum, have been discussed everywhere. I get what you're saying. Like, that should be a bridge too far. Why would you ever want to sign on to that again?
Yeah.
But when it's money, money rules the day. And again, I think one of the astounding things about this is that a lot of this billionaire money that's flowing into the Trump campaign because they want to avoid the feared Biden tax increases on the billionaire class, a lot of that money is going not to advertising, not to getting messages out. It's going to pay off lawyers. It's going to help Trump out of his legal hole. As you know, the RNC change of leadership at the top, Laura Trump, she's already said that they're funneling a lot of money to Donald Trump's legal efforts. So this is where a lot of that billionaire money is going. And this is, again, a robust pipeline of money that will continue into Donald Trump for some time. So that's the latest on
The Mark Thompson Show.
On the billionaire money. Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.